I'm Christy Morrissey. I'm a professor in biology and the School of Environment and Sustainability, and I'm originally from Vancouver, British Columbia. My research focuses on the role of pesticides and industrial pollutants and how those affect the biology of birds and the ecosystems that they live in. Probably I'm most famous for my work on pesticides, some of the most controversial chemicals that are being used in agriculture. And some of the things I have studied or revealed is that these chemicals can affect the migration of birds and their ability to travel these long distances from their wintering to their breeding grounds. And this kind of work is important because it's contributing to our understanding of why biodiversity, including many bird populations, are declining so rapidly. So I'm trying to solve some of those mysteries about why these chemicals are influencing bird populations or how they're influencing bird populations. And I also really enjoy studying some of the solutions. So how do we grow food that we need for agriculture in a more sustainable way? And how can biodiversity actually be helping to solve some of the world's problems in growing food? Because as we know, nature actually provides a lot of ecosystem services, and the benefits they provide can actually help us. So I like to study both the problem, but also some of the solutions. I certainly grew up an outdoorsy kid. I loved being outside. I had a passion for animals in particular. I love and still love animals of all shapes and sizes. So I originally thought I would be a vet. I think when you're a kid, you imagine that, the only job to work with animals is a vet. And so I started my kind of path down trying to become a veterinarian. And that didn't work out for me in university. It's very competitive to become a veterinarian. And so I started to be introduced to some of the other fields. And one of the most influential people I met along the way was a professor named Jamie Smith. He's a renowned, or was a renowned ornithologist at UBC. And he took us as a class on bird walks and field trips out to the Okanagan. And he just opened my eyes to this whole other world of understanding birds and wildlife and the ecosystems that they live in and how we're all connected. And I really was changed at that point and started down this path of trying to, conduct research and to be involved in studying wildlife and also some of the challenges that they're facing.
When you say veterinary medicine is competitive, but like where you are in your career right now and how amazing some of your research is, that you were like intimidated by the competition of vet med.
There's lots of things I could tell you. I could tell you about the fact that I originally was going to be a high school English teacher. That was my first thinking. I dropped out of the sciences when I was early in university because I really had no female role models at that time. I thought science was hard, even though I loved sciences. So I was kind of brainwashed into thinking that, science is too hard. Girls don't do science. So even for me, I had no kind of, role models or people to look up to or mentors that guided me. And so I made a lot of mistakes along the way and early on trying to find my path, like what was I meant to do. But fortunately, I did meet some great mentors along the way who guided me. and uh, and were very influential. So it worked out well for me in the end. I teach in SENS. I teach a course called Biodiversity Conservation, and we get a diverse group of students who some of them have a natural science background, and some of them have never been introduced to these topics. And it's a great opportunity to unite the group to be thinking about what is the biodiversity crisis, and what kind of things can we be doing to try and solve that big problem. I think I've thought about this kind of long and hard. There are so many good books out there that I could recommend, but one that's been on my mind lately has been Paul Ehrlich's original book, The Population Bomb. He wrote this in the 1960s, just about human population explosion that he predicted to be happening and some of the consequences. He later wrote a follow-up book that is probably more engaging, and one that I would recommend SEND students read, is The Population Explosion. And it was written in 1990, so still, 30 years ago. However, his ideas are so relevant today.